Welcome to the Explainer. In this guide, we're basically building you a map to the digital world. It's all about navigating the online landscape to make sure your message actually finds its audience. Let's jump right in.
So, does this feel familiar? You know you've got something great to offer, but in a world that's just so crowded with content, how in the world do you stand out? How do you connect with the people who are actually looking for you? Well, the answer lies in mastering the very spaces where your customers already live, work, and play.
And that solution, it really starts with understanding what we mean by digital platforms. Don't just think of them as websites or apps. Think of them as living, breathing environments. They're the new marketplaces, the town squares, the communication hubs where you can build real, actual relationships.
All right, here's our game plan. We're going to cover why these platforms are so important, look at the 6 key channels you need to know, talk about the big ideas behind communication, the tech that makes it all happen, see some real-world wins, and then figure out your next move. First things first, why do these platforms even matter? I mean, before we get into the how, it's absolutely crucial to understand the why. Because this stuff, it's the very foundation of any marketing you're going to do today. So what makes these platforms so vital? Well, it really just boils down to 3 huge advantages. First, you're not trying to force a new habit on people. You're meeting them where they already are, where they're spending their time. Second, you can target your message with incredible precision, reaching the exact people who need what you have. And finally, you can measure everything, which lets you tweak and optimize your campaigns for the biggest possible impact.
Okay, so now that we get the why, let's dive into the what. There are basically 6 main channels you can use to reach your audience, and each one has its own strength. Think of them as the different roads you can take on your marketing map.
Now, what's really cool about this is how it breaks everything down. For each of those channels, you've got 3 ways to play. Paid media is what you buy, an ad. Owned media is what you control, like your website or your social media profile. And then there's earned media. This is kind of the holy grail, right? It's that genuine buzz you get when people just start talking about you. A really smart strategy uses a blend of all 3.
Let's zoom in on search marketing for a second. This shows the 2 sides of the coin perfectly. On one side, you've got SEO, search engine optimization. This is the long game. It's about building trust and authority so that Google naturally recommends you. On the other side, you've got PPC, or pay-per-click. This is your express lane to the top of the search results, giving you instant visibility. And the scale here is just massive. Global spending on digital advertising is projected to fly past $500 billion. This isn't just some trend. It's the main arena where brands are fighting for our attention. And in this arena, it's genuine connection, not just loud ads, that wins.
So what does this actually look like in the wild? Well, a fantastic example is Starbucks on Instagram. They don't just post pictures of coffee, no way. They create an entire lifestyle around their brand. They feature photos from their own customers, run these super creative campaigns, and in doing so, they've built this huge community of loyal fans. It's a masterclass in connecting, not just selling.
Okay, let's switch gears a bit from the what to the how. Because having the right channels is one thing, but a truly great strategy, that's about your mindset. It's about the philosophy behind how you communicate, and frankly, it's what separates marketing people love from just plain old spam.
At the very heart of this is the idea of inbound marketing. So instead of shouting at people with ads, you attract them by being genuinely helpful. You create content that actually solves their problems. Then you engage them in a real conversation. And finally, you delight them with such an amazing experience that they become your biggest advocates.
And that leads us right to this idea of permission marketing. The key word here is privilege. A customer's attention is a privilege, not a right. You have to earn the ability to talk to them by being relevant, by being personal, and by being respectful. It's really the difference between being a welcome guest and an annoying pest.
So you've got the channels and the philosophy, but how do you actually make it all work, especially when you're trying to grow? The answer is technology. Let's take a look at the essential tools that every modern marketer needs.
This is what we call your tech stack. It's a set of tools that all work together. You've got analytics platforms like Google Analytics that tell you what's working and what's not. You've got a CRM, a customer relationship management system, which is like your central command for all customer interactions. And then automation tools handle all the repetitive stuff so you can focus on the bigger picture.
All right, theory is great, but let's see these ideas in action. We're going to look at a couple of brands that are absolutely crushing it with their digital marketing and see how they combine all these channels, concepts, and technologies in really clever ways.
First up is Shopify. They are so much more than just an e-commerce platform. They're a content machine. Their blog is the go-to resource for anyone starting an online business. By giving away so much valuable information for free, they've built this massive, loyal audience. It's the perfect example of attracting customers by empowering them first.
And then, you've got Netflix. Their product is entertainment. And you know what? So is their marketing. They've literally turned their social media accounts into personalities. They get into witty banter with fans. They create viral memes. They don't just market their shows. They create a whole culture around them.
Now, this isn't an official quote, but it perfectly captures their vibe, right? They don't just join in on internet culture, they help create it. They use humor and memes to stay right at the center of the conversation, and it makes their marketing feel less like marketing and more like entertainment itself.
Okay, so we've covered the why, the what, and the how. We've seen the tools and some incredible real-world examples. Now we get to the most important part, turning all of this knowledge into action.
Look, if there is just one thing you take away from this entire explainer, I hope it's this. There is no single magic bullet in digital marketing. It just doesn't exist. Real, lasting success, it comes from integration. It's about weaving together the right channels with the right message and the right tech to create a customer experience that's truly seamless and truly memorable.
So, we've laid out the entire map for you. You can see the landscape, the different routes, and the destinations. The only question left is, where are you going to begin your journey? What's your first step?